Okay, guys, we're changing this up a little bit here. I'm kind of excited to do this one. Instead of just looking at a couple drafts, we're going to be talking about a specific situation. And what I'm thinking about here, um, as I go into this one, and if it's going to work maybe in the future, also just trying to, experiment, trying to change things up, try not to get too similar. I'm doing drafts here in June. What happens when I'm doing them a month or 2 months from now? Am I doing them all the exact same way? Or can I think of like rules or situations on how to change them up to get different builds and hopefully still get good results? Uh, I'm going to be drafting Anthony Richardson here, guaranteed. I find that sometimes he falls here to the towards the end of the fifth, and that's kind of the only time I've been drafting him for the most part. I'm not drafting much Jonathan Taylor, and if I am, I don't not concerned about really correlating exactly. I don't know if I've had an opportunity to, but I'm not really looking for it guaranteed. I think I've only taken Pittman once, and I think Richardson got taken before I even had a chance at him in that draft. So the only time I really get him is unstacked for the most. I mean, like unstacked with his, top end talent, which I'm totally okay with, as he seems to score more than enough points by himself, so long as he doesn't get injured. What I'm thinking about with these drafts is that I had a tendency in the past to take him around here, and then if a tight end fell, I have to look at the other ones, but I think if a tight end fell, I'd probably want to take like a tight end here a lot of times. A lot of times you have a Kyle Pitts, a George Kittle, and Evan Ingram that falls to you at 63 here, and I found myself with a lot of Pitts in like this back part of the fifth, front part of the sixth round, and if I do that, I feel like I'm then going to be passing on one of the players that I want to take with Richardson, just because I have no other reason to take him except if I have Richardson, and that player is Jelani Woods right here. His ADP is actually higher than I thought it was going to be. I thought it would be, closer to 240, 220, or 230, whatever, not 215. So I'm not sure if it got adjusted recently to that or how that works. But um, I'm thinking about how do I plan now so that I can take him later. And I think the only way you can take him later is if you plan on doing a three tight end build. And how do you do that? You pass on the tight ends early, you wait for one to fall to you really cheap, or like, value, or you just take three bad ones towards the end and hope for the best. And Woods is a high upside one potentially. Maybe, maybe not. How much is Richardson we should throw into the tight end? Who knows? But um, I was excited for him last year a bit based on just what he showed the previous year. And of course, last year he was injured for the whole year, so that was a bad bet. But I want a reason to take him. And I think this is really the only reason to take him for the most part is if you have Richardson. Um, so my strategy here, I'm going to try is I'm going to take Richardson here. I'm going to guarantee I'm going to pass on the tight ends, Pitts, Kittle, Ingram at the 63, at pick 63. Um, I'm either going, running back or wide receiver. Probably most of the time I'm going running or wide receiver, but I'll go either one. Uh, Cooper, the chances of him falling to me at 63 are slim, but if he fell to me at 63, that'd be very nice. And then you can see here I got Allen, Jerry McLaurin, Jaden Reed, all right here as my next three picks based on rank. Also, if you look at ADP, there's Kamara here, there's Jones here, and depending on the build, I think those are also potentially okay picks here at 63. Uh, if you look here at the board, I really would have liked if Mixon fell. That would have been really nice, but he didn't. And so I feel like that might be the way to go is Jones, Kamara. Where did Seattle's running back go? He went way early. All Kenneth Walker went all the way over here. So way early. I'd like to get Walker. I just never find myself in a position to draft him He always goes much earlier than I feel like he should, but I understand why he does. I'd love to draft him over and over again. I was drafting a ton of them last year, trying to change up my strategy and hopefully a more effective strategy this year. So my strategy for this one is to take the QB, pass on the tight ends, try to build up my running backs and wide receivers, and hopefully look for other quarterbacks and tight ends that are either way below value or just keep on building up the wide receivers and the running backs. At the end of the draft, I'm going to go and do most likely three tight ends, right? If one doesn't just fall in value. And those three are going to be someone, and Woods. I'm also thinking about, can this be I don't do it a lot, but could this be one of those three quarterback, three tight end builds? Richardson's been got hurt in like every game last year, or almost every game that I watched. He was out for at least like a drive or two drives, then eventually, out for the season. So does this make is this one of those situations where maybe you go two quarterback, two tight end, or sorry, three quarterback, three tight end, and then running back and wide receiver are the rest of your picks. So you got 14 picks across those two. You got 6 picks for your QBs and tight ends. I think it's possible in DraftKings you got 20 picks total. So I'm not saying you got to go 3 and 3. If you're drafting 3 quarterbacks, a lot of times you're doing that for insurance. But when you got someone like Richardson, who you're part of your strategy for winning is for him to play like you need him to play for the whole season, basically. Doesn't make sense to have that insurance because if he goes down, you're probably losing anyways for the most part. So you don't need to go 3 quarterbacks, but I could see potentially 3 quarterbacks, 3 tight ends, and then the rest of the picks running back, wide receiver. As we go through the draft, we'll take a look, see how we go. But we know this pick here is going to be either a wide receiver or a running back. And it's going to be again between, we look at the players again really quick. It's going to be between Cooper, Allen, McLaurin, Reed, and then Jones, Kamara. Probably not Montgomery. Maybe Montgomery. I like Montgomery, but I feel like it's too early for Montgomery. Jones, Kamara, maybe as my second running back, or my flex here at the wide receiver position for these guys. Let me know what you think. I'm kind of excited for this strategy with Richardson. Change up what you do, end up with different players and unique builds. Give me some feedback in the comments. Let's click draft and see you on the next one. Peace.